Welcome to my YouTube channel. The last video on personal finance spoke around the common errors we make, what exactly personal finance is, the areas it covers. Today, I want to discuss the importance of consistency. I will just touch quickly on that, and then we'll go into how do you begin to improve your finances? Where do you start? If you want to improve your finances today, what is the first thing you should do? I'll talk about that, and if there is more time, we'll go into further details. Let's go. So, the most important thing in wealth building of personal finance is time. And with time comes consistency. You have to, without an iota of doubt, be consistent and give yourself time to grow wealth. Like I alluded to in the last video, right? A lot of us save for December or save towards a goal. When we save up till December, we spend the whole money, we start all over again. We spend the money, we start all over again. We save to buy phone, we save to buy laptop, we save to buy this, we save to pay school fees, we save to do this. And once we do that, that's all. But what are we doing to build wealth? What are we doing for the long term? How are we building wealth for the future? We really need time to do this. I'll give you an example. If you save $100 monthly for the next 20 years at 10% per annum, by the end of 20 years, you will be having just around $72,000. In other words, if you save $100,000 every month for the next 20 years, right, you would have saved 71 million, or just 71.8 or 71.9 million naira, growing at 10% annually, right? So if you do this kind of calculations, right, if the actual amount you saved is going to be 100,000 in a whole year is 1.2 million. 1.2 million in 10 years is 12 million. In 20 years is 24 million. But you would be having a whooping 71.9 million, right? Which means the importance of compounding has, grown that money, and you need time for things to compound, right? So it's a very important thing that you need to know. Always be aware that in terms of finances, time is a very important skill. For example, you need to pay your rent, or your wife is pregnant with a child. You don't start to save for that on the day the child is to come. You do it way in advance, and then, and you need time for those things. So how exactly do you improve your finances? What do you need to do to improve your finances? And the saying goes, you cannot improve what you don't measure. If you don't know where you are at, you can't tell where you are going. It's just like somebody that wants to put in, you want to order Uber. If you don't tell Uber where you are at, it won't allow you to put in your destination, because there has to be somewhere you are at. And in terms of finance, in terms of money, in terms of wealth, how to know where you are at is to calculate your net worth. Somebody would wonder, what does net worth have to do with this? I don't even have net worth. Yes, it's possible. Some people's net worth could be zero. It could even be negative, right? But I will try to run you through how you calculate your net worth. The first thing, add up the values of everything you own. And when I say everything you own, I mean everything you own that is financial, that is money's worth, or that can be easily converted to money. Don't add your clothes. Don't add your car. Don't add all these things. You don't need them. In fact, I would say you should not add your house, except if that house, you use it to generate money Let's say you use it for shortlets or you use it for rentals, and then you can add it. But I typically do not advise that you put in the house that you live in. If you have investments in stocks, the cash in your savings account, if you have a, Cowrywise or a PiggyVest account, the monies you have there, if you invest in exchange traded notes or exchange traded funds, many of us may not know what that is, or even if it is mutual funds, or you invest in something at all, whatever it is, that is cash generating and you can easily liquidate. That is part of your assets. You add up all these things together. Also, go and check the balance on your pension account. Yes, you work in a company, they are paying pension for you. Go and check the balance on your pension account. It is part of your net worth. Or if you are not exactly certain, if you know how much you get monthly in terms of pension or related things, calculate it for 20 years. So if every month your company pays 20K into your pension account, calculate 20K multiplied by 240. 240 months is 20 years, So calculate that amount, 20K by 20 years. And 20K in 1 year, you have 12 months in a year. So 20 times 12 times 20. Let me go over that again. If you are collecting pension, let me use 10,000. Your pension monthly that your company pays into your account is 10K. Add that 10K, multiply it by 20 years. 20 years, because 10K is coming monthly, right? So you can multiply 10K a month by 20. So 20 years is how many months? 240 months. So 240 multiplied by your 10,000 is the value of your retirement benefits. You can assume like that and then drop it in your net worth assets calculation. So remember, assets are things that you own. So don't put things that are non-monetary, things that do not generate money or are just there. Your clothes, your TV, your laptop, if, you don't need to add most of these things, except if you are using them, if they are money generating, right? Somebody says, oh, if I have a shop, a business that generates money, should I add that as part of my assets? Yes, you can, but only add the net worth. How do I explain this in a way that is straightforward? You will need to calculate how much your assets owns, how much your company owns, your business owns. So all the things that your business owns minus all the money that your business owes. So whatever is left, like the balance, more like your profit, it's not exactly profit, but you can use the term profit, is your business net worth. Add it to all these things, then you come up with a value of your financial assets. I'll probably come up with a template and put it in the description so that you can have something to work with. Then, calculate your financial liabilities. Liabilities is simple. It is what you owe. So if you have a loan, if you have credit cards, if you took OPay loan, if you went and borrowed money from your friends, if you have mortgages, for example, all these different things that you owe, basically, you can have them. Why some people's net worth will be negative, you have loan with them, or cash, and you don't have anything except your iPhone. And that iPhone is the only thing you own. The house you are living is rented. Everything that is in the house is really assets that do not generate anything for you. They are literally redundant. And you owe money. Apparently, you are in the negative. So that's your net worth. So your total assets, your financial assets, minus your financial liabilities is your net worth. So yeah, when you finish calculating this net worth, it is useful to you alone. Now only you get them. Nobody is interested in your net worth. It's between you, yourself, and you. You don't need to tell anybody. You just need that information to know where you are at. And, over the course of time, I would attempt to explain how you can build this, you can change this story. You can change this narrative for you, for yourself, for your family. Understand your net worth. Know where you are at. The next thing you need to do is to calculate your credit score. If you're in the UK or in the US, probably this information is widely available. What is a credit score? I would say it is a measure of financial responsibility. How easy it is for somebody to give you loan and be sure that you will pay back. Right? So your credit score is a score that says, okay, let's say in a country where the score is between 0 to 700, right? That's what your credit score limit is. So if they say your credit score is 600, it means that, banks can easily give you money or people can easily give you loan and they will not be afraid that you will not pay back because your credit score is high. But if your credit score is 50, it means that, this one is a chronic debtor. And you may be wondering, do they even know that I collected debt? How would they know my credit score? So far, you have a bank account. Especially in Nigeria, you have a BVN. You have a credit score. 100% you have a credit score. So how do you know your credit score? In Africa, we do not have so many credit bureaus. People that calculate credit scores are called credit bureaus. We do not have a lot of them. I think one of the most developed markets is South Africa, and they have 11 credit bureaus. Nigeria has 3. Ghana has 2 authorized licensed credit bureaus. I think Kenya has 2 as well, or 3. Rwanda has 2, but I'm not even sure if they are functional. One of the ones that are in Rwanda it also works in Tanzania, works in some of these other African countries. But in Nigeria, you have 3. There is the Credit Registry, there is CRC Credit Bureau, and I think there is First Central. So if you are in Nigeria, how do you calculate your credit score or find out your credit score? Google it. Yes, right now. Pause this video and Google it. Check it out. How to calculate my credit score. You'll see it. Visit CRC Credit Bureau. We'll probably add the link to their website or to their credit score page in this video or on the screen as you're watching. If you're using MTN, I think you can type a code *565 *8#. Is it *8 or *3? Try anyone that comes to your mind. *565 *8#, I think. If you are using it for MTN subscribers only, it used to work. You can get your credit score from First Central. If it doesn't work for you or you don't have an MTN line, go online. Go to firstcentralcreditbureau.com, or we'll put the links of all these credit bureaus in this video so that you can check them out. Just go to their website. It's free. Check it out. They will come up with a free credit score report for you. If you're in the US, you can try FICO. If you're in the UK, there are a lot of credit rating agencies and credit scoring agencies in the UK. If you're in Ghana, I think there is Dun & Bradstreet. There is it X&D or X&A? There's one other one in Ghana like that. But whatever country you're in, there's Extensio in South Africa. So just go online, find out, and calculate your credit score. It tells you how well the market is treating. And that's why some people don't build their credit. You are wondering why the banks do not give you loan. Or you're always borrowing money from loan apps and you're not paying and you think you are doing good. You are even telling your friend. You people will post it on social media that you borrowed money you never paid and you are happy. You want to be a business person in the future and you expect a bank to give you a lot of money. It most likely wouldn't happen if you don't sort out your credit issues. So these are things that you have to do first. Calculate your net worth. Find out your credit score. Now, when you know these things, you are at a position where you can begin to work on your finances. Now that you know your credit score, you know your net worth, the first action you need to do is to make a resolve to get rid of your high debts. Oh, does that mean that debt is bad? No, I'm not saying that. However, there is bad debts and there is good debts. But as if you're in a personal finance quagmire, the first thing you need to do is to get rid of your those debts that the interest are plenty, like I alluded to earlier. Get rid of them. You don't need them in your life. Then the next thing is to build an emergency fund. That's literally all you need to do right now. Start to create a plan to get out of the high debts that you have. You know, you may have to cut your lifestyle. You may have to reduce whatever it is you got, but get out of that debt. Get out of that debt. We will probably talk about strategies that you could use to get out of debt in the future. Then build an emergency savings plan. And I think I want to quickly mention something. You could check your credit score report and it is wrong. There was a time, I think my credit score reports, I think that was in 2020, was wrong because, you know, I took a loan from an organization, and that organization, eventually I had paid off, but the organization did not sort it out in their system. So it was showing on credit bureau's website that, I still had that loan pending and whatnot. So if you have that kind of situation, reach out to the credit bureau, reach out to the company that is involved. Maybe you've taken a loan, you've paid, but they've not cleared it. Reach out to them and get them to sort that out. It's very, very important. So that being said, once you know your net worth, you have calculated your credit score, create a plan to get out of debt, then create an emergency fund. What is an emergency fund? Many of us, once you get out of job today, that's the end. Literally, your family will know next month. The whole world will know next month that you're out of job. Not because you're not going to the office, but because your lifestyle will dramatically change. So an emergency fund is literally an amount of money that can sort out your lifestyle in the case of an emergency within a 3 months to 6 months time period. There are other nuances. There are additional things that make up your emergency funds, but that's the basic thing. In case there is an emergency that happened in your life, say for example, you lost your job, you lost your source of income, you should be able to manage for at least 3 to 6 months. And of course, if there is an health emergency now, a lot of us are still at this phase where a major emergency in our lives could take us back to ground zero. And you never want that to happen. So build a plan to create an emergency fund. Use tools like Cowrywise, Piggyvest, and all these other tools online to actually create a savings plan and an emergency fund. I personally use Cowrywise for my emergency funds. Again, this is not a paid advertisement. I'm just educating us all. So yeah, do that and then you will be fine. Somebody is asking, I'm in my 20s. My net worth is negative, blah, blah, blah. What can I do? You have nothing to worry about. Just plan and begin to make progress now. Even if you are in your 50s, it doesn't change anything much. Yes, you've lost a lot of time and you cannot be saving as much as you cannot be saving lower than somebody that is 20. If you are 20, saving at 10%, 15% of your income is like absolutely fine if you are just starting out. If you are in your 30s, I would recommend typically save between 15 to 20% of your monthly income. If you're like 50, you probably need to go a lot more aggressively. You need to pay your loans as fast as possible. Try to keep only good debts if you need to keep any at all, and you will be fine. I think with that, this video has been relatively long and I don't want to bore you guys. Thank you for watching and I will see you in the next video. Make sure to remember to subscribe, share this video with your friends, turn on the notification bell so you can know when we post new videos, and comment your questions down below. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.